Ignacio Vargas, and for my TED Talk, I decided to do this speech by Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs created Apple in his garage when he was 18 with one of his friends, and 10 years after creating the company, Apple became a $2 billion industry with over 4,000 employees. There are three theses in his speech. The first one is don't connect dots of your life based on if you have a downfall or a problem. The second one is don't base your life on downfalls. Keep yourself motivated so that you can be successful at what you like to do and find something that you like to do so that work won't be so hard to get up and going to. The third and final thesis of his speech that I got from is fight until you can't fight no more. In other words, fight to the end, even if people are telling you you have a certain time of life left, because no one has ever escaped from death. Steve caught the attention of his audience by telling them his own personal experiences that he has experienced throughout his life, through the ups and downs of his life. He was able to maintain the audience attention by telling three different stories that had complete different mottos behind them. The commandment that Steve did the best in following was the fourth commandment, connecting with people's emotion. During his whole speech, what he did, he connected with the audience by making them laugh and getting into his speech and not worrying about when this man's gonna stop talking. Because no one would have ever guessed that Steve Jobs had so many downfalls in his life, and yet was one of the most successful persons in this world. Um, if I had to evaluate Mr. Jobs based on his dynamism, I would have to say he's 4 out of 5. What he could have done better in his speech is show more emotion when he's telling all the hardships that he went through as his child, from being a child to the point where he was before he died. To tell you the truth, I didn't see any tips regarding Gary Reynolds or Nancy Durard. I learned a lot from the delivery that Mr. Jobs did in his speech. I learned that you have to tell the audience the good and the bad so that they don't get bored and stop being interested in your story or what you're trying to get them to realize. But it's just like something you have to do is you have to engage more with your audience so that they don't they're not over there just talking away. Um, the way Mr. Jobs delivered his speech was so different from the way Sir Ken Robinson delivered his. First off, Sir Ken Robinson didn't really tell his last stories. He was telling the audience why he thought was right of what he thought. But both of them were similar in one way. They engaged themselves with the audience because not once did I get bored listening to their speech or the other. If I had to give a tip to some of my fellow classmates in delivering their speeches, would have to be to entertain your audience. Don't just tell them the good side of what you're trying to convince them to think, or just have pros and cons of everything of what you're trying to get to the point. Because no matter what, there's going to be pros and cons in every little thing. There's not always just going to be a good side to everything. And that's why I chose this this topic, because Steve Jobs was uh, one of my most favorite guys to look forward in life, because he'd had so many downfalls, being fired from his own company and all that. It's just a motivational speaker that wants me makes me want to work harder for my life and everything. So thank you.